Welcome to Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I am Tammi Mack on FOXSOUL. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Look, months ago, we had a great conversation about whether social media is ruining relationships or if cheaters simply use social media platforms to cheat. It was such an amazing show that we decided to continue the conversation and give you a part two. So, has social media ruined relationships? Please welcome psychiatrist and relationship expert, Dr. Ish Major. Hi, Dr. Major.
Hey, Tammi, how you doing?
Good. One of the members of the group Next, Tweet, is here. Hi, Tweet.
Hey, Tammi.
Philanthropist and curator, we have Chelsea Von Chaz with us. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, Tammi.
Actress and R&B artist, Mackenzie Small. What's going on, Mackenzie?
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
So kick us off. Is social media ruining relationships? Would that be a yay or a nay?
That's a yay. That's 100% yay, Tammi. Come on. It's a problem.
Well, if it's a problem, my thing is maybe your relationship always been a problem.
I agree
So that's
with
an
that.
interesting point because social media can definitely make worse what's already there. But the point is, relationships in real life run on what is, not on what if. And when I'm on your social, I have to imagine what if. Well, if she looks like that, that's cool. Well, if that's her house, if that's her car, if that's what's really happening today, then I imagine it's going to be cool. But I don't know until I show up in real life and know what is.
Mackenzie?
I disagree. I think we're giving way too much power to social media to say that it is the reason for ruining relationships. I don't believe that one thing that doesn't actually, it's not real. Like, it's just a thing. It doesn't have the power to ruin relationships. I think people who are not great in relationships use it to ruin their relationships.
Tell me how you feel, Chelsea.
I think it's a bit lazy to blame social media if your relationship is on the rocks. It to me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe because I know so many positive outcomes from social media, from people being able to just reconnect with one another, to get back together. It's great for dating, for filling people out. So no, I think it's all dependent on the people and the person. So no, I'm not blaming social media at all.
Tweet, making that relationship music, how you feel?
I feel great, but yeah, I do believe that it has a lot to do with destroying some relationships. And it is true that when relationships are already unstable, it can expose some of the things that are not strong, and it can take down some relationships. I'm speaking from experience, and some of the relationships that it destroyed for me wasn't even a love relationship. Those relationships were damaged before the social media onslaught of energy, but it ruined some business relationships for me because it was weaponized and used against me. So I know what it feels like to be in a position where someone would use social media as a weapon against someone.
Oh, wow, that's deep. Is it easier to start a relationship with the help of social media? I think, Chelsea, you said you think it's a perfect thing to do.
I mean, it's to be real. I mean, it's something that we use to get to know someone. If somebody tries to hook you up with somebody, you're like, girl, what's his IG? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to see some type of sneak peek or a preview to what you're getting into. But even then, you can't really go off of exactly what that person is posting, because I mean, everybody kind of wants to post like whatever is the best example of who they are, or you're going to post what you want people to see. So I think it's okay as far as a prerequisite, like getting into figuring out who someone is, and yeah, it can be cool for dating, and that's just from my experience. I think it could be used as a positive tool. If it becomes negative, you might need to get off of it.
So let me ask you this, Chelsea.
Yeah.
What is something that you wouldn't want to see on a man's IG if you were scoping him out because, you're trying to figure
I don't want to see too many pictures of him and his dogs. I don't want to see a picture of him kissing his dog. That might be really weird to me, which I have seen, by the way.
What if he just loves his dog?
Well, honey, like that's nobody that I want to be with, because it's like, is this my potential animal, or is this bitch my competition? Like that's you know what I mean? Like, that's just not gonna work. So, and I'm an animal lover too, but it's certain extremes that people can, tap into. But as far as seeing him with another woman or something, no, for me, that doesn't faze me, because on my page, you can see exactly who I am. So
Mackenzie, what would disturb you if you were checking IG out to check out a specific man that maybe you're going on a date with?
As much as I don't like to base somebody based on their social media, too many selfies or too many like pictures of like them, it gives me a really weird impression. Like I just feel, I've definitely seen somebody that I've been like, oh, he's cool. But then you go on his page and it's just like so many pictures of just him. I feel like
it's interesting. I know a lot of women feel that way about a man on social media. Okay, I'm going to you, Dr. Ish. What is it that you, if you were scoping out a woman who you wanted to date, what wouldn't you want to see on her IG page?
Well, if I'm using IG or social for information gathering, then I'm looking for insight into their decision making, right? I don't want to see pictures of them making bad decisions. Right? Because those decisions are going to spill over into my life if I'm thinking about being a part of their life, right? I want all the selfies. I'm here for all of that selfie smoke. I want different angles. I want different lighting. I want to know exactly who I'm meeting when we show up, right? And I'm trying to glean some information. As a psychiatrist, I look for body language. I look for the things people are trying to not show you. And that's hard to get on social. You can't get it from a video. And then when I meet you in real life, Tammy, what I'm looking to do is see if the two pictures match. Because if it don't match, you're probably lying to me about something.
About something. Tweet, what are you not liking on a woman's IG?
Well, I'm happily married for 9 years, so the woman's IG isn't my business at this point. But if I were looking, I would be looking for good energy. I'd be looking for positive energy, any negative energy or anything like,
But what would turn you off? What would make you be like, nah, not her?
Just being overly sexual, too much skin. Not.
What about pictures from the neck, only the neck up? I hear that men have issues when women only post pictures from the neck up.
It's a problem, Tammy.
Hey,
why, Dr. Ish? Why?
It's a red flag.
Right? It's a red flag, Tweet, because you're hiding something, right? I get it. We've all got our insecurities about how we look and about how we're showing up. And God knows women have more than men do because that's just the culture, right? But you're hiding something, right? If at some point we're going to meet, at some point I'm going to see you, right? And so I hate the idea that folks have to be ashamed or hide all of who they are. And when you see selfies from the neck up only in every single shot, well, then that's an indicator.
That's sketchy.
Sketchy. Yes, sir.
I agree. I think that also goes for men too, because I've definitely met someone on IG and he posted photos mainly of just like his chest up or shoulders up. And then in person, he had hips. So I agree. It's definitely happened to me before.
Was it hippie, Justin?
That sounds like
he was hippie, which it's nothing wrong with him being hippie. It's like I would have loved to have seen it, in person. I want to look at the body pics too.
Right. Just be honest, right? Because the sooner we can find out the truth about each other, the sooner we can make some informed decisions about each other, and we don't have to waste each other's time, right? And we can move on quickly to get to our person, but we just need that information. We're also scared of being rejected and feeling that hurt and feeling that shame that we want to delay it, but it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. The sooner you can get to it, then the sooner we can make some really cool decisions and know what we got and know what we don't, and everybody can move on peacefully.
And possibly nobody gets hurt, right?
Exactly.
Everybody stays in this long relationship and then finds out things and then they get hurt. Yeah. I remember I went to, I think it was Hawaii or somewhere, and I was only posting pictures of me from like the shoulders up. And some man commented, y'all notice how she only posts pictures of her shoulders up. I'm like, you pervert. That's the only thing was going through my mind.
And he was trying to see you, Tammy. He's trying to see you.
He's trying to see everything that's happening, Tammy. He want everything.
Okay, clearly. Well, then you should have purchased my ticket to Hawaii. Do men or women benefit from how accessible social media makes potential partners? Who benefits the most here, Tweet?
It's hard to say, but I would say I would go with women because men are always lurking and looky-loos. So women definitely can benefit more. They can translate it into to business, I think, a little easier than a lot of men, because men, we like to do things in person, and online men are really visual. So they like to see women, like hence your shoulder pictures. Like that guy wanted to see you for his own personal reasons, but men just like to see. So women can like translate it into business. I think it's something that can be used in a positive way. If a person has good energy within them and they have a lot of self-respect, they can definitely make a lot of money on social media and still keep their morals intact.
You're saying women can?
Women can, yes. Men can also, but you said who the most.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I just feel like, well, I don't want to get into being a judge, but it just seems like to me, the breasts and the booty do a little more selling on social media than any other type of, I don't know, business, so to speak. I would say make more money.
But I don't think men really want to be in a marry the girl that shows the most skin online. I think most men would like to see that and not actually be with her all the time. You know.
I wonder. How you feeling, Mackenzie?
I hear men say that all the time, but it's like, to me, I see that it's what sells. So, you see it posted all the time, and it's like, okay, if you don't actually want to be with that woman, then why do you give that woman the most attention? It's like, so, but I guess it's just that they're selling it.
That is odd. Why do you give her the most attention and lately, the ladies with the butts and the breasts been winning. They've been getting married. They've been getting flued out. I mean, they've been the winners for a long time since this IG thing cracked off. They've been the ones in the Louis Vuitton shops, the Gucci, We'll talk about that when we return. We'll be right back on Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack on Fox Soul. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I am Tammi Mack. And the business of being Black today are social media. Is it hindering relationships? Is it responsible for the breakup of these wonderful relationships that people are developing? these monogamous relationships.
Stop it right.
Go ahead,
Stop
Dr.
it right
Ish.
now.
Go ahead.
It's not breaking up those.
It's not breaking up
Not
those.
touching those. It's not even touching those. It's
not even touching
Not
them?
at all. No.
Are you all serious right now?
Yes.
Why? Why
what you
not?
just described, the real love, the monogamy, the connection, not those. The ones that are getting dismantled are the ones that already come in sketchy and shaky. It just exposes all the weaknesses. But yeah, not the solid ones.
Yeah, see, no, that's not true. And I wish that were true, because I have a lot of married couples in my practice who share socials, they share passwords, and it's a horrible idea. They think it's an amazing idea, and it's terrible to be all over each other's social. And eventually it's not the thing that's causing them to have bad relationships, but it is one more nail in that potential coffin that just simply doesn't need to be there, right? It gives you a false sense of security. And I've seen that go really, really left for a lot of couples. But Tammi, I wanted to point something out to you, right? So the two guys on the panel think it's a bad idea. The two women on the panel said, hey, you know what? No, it's good. So, right, because that goes to how we're wired. Men, biologically, we're driven by logic. We want information. We don't have to sit there and figure things out. We don't have to use our imagination because we're mission driven, right? This is what I want. And this is the straight path to it. But women, you guys run on love and connection and emotion. And that is not a straight line. That's a process. And you have to go through some things. You got to figure some stuff out. And it changes from one day to the next, 1 hour to the next. And as guys, we do not like it. So it's not a surprise that the two guys on the panel are like, yeah, no, bad idea.
Listen, I want to say this now. When you talk about Facebook sharing passwords, now, apparently, Facebook has caused several divorces because people were reaching out to their exes, checking in, going back in time, reminiscing when they reminisce over you. My God, trying to figure out what could have, should have, would have been, in Brian McKnight's words, right? So when we talk about these relationships and Facebook passwords and stuff, do you think that even if you believe you have a solid relationship that's built on everything good, right, that someone from the past can knock on the door and disrupt that via Facebook? Because I mean, let's look at it this way. Were it not for social media, you wouldn't be able to contact that old flame, Chelsea.
That's interesting because I think if somebody wants to get in touch with someone and they're determined, it's going to happen some way, whether it's through a phone book, whether it's through the internet, whether it's just them, I don't know, ancestry.com. Like, it really doesn't matter. If the person wants to get in touch with them, they're going to do that. And I think, you know, again, like, to me, social media is a tool. So yeah, you can use that tool, Facebook, to message somebody, to see what they're up to, but it's something else that's driving your decision and your reason for wanting to do that. And that's the source. Like, there's a bigger influence than social media. Again, it's just a tool.
Mackenzie, what do you say?
I agree with that 100%. And I think that if we're using social media to within our relationships to reach out to people, then we just have to have better communication within our relationships. I've been in relationships where an ex reached out to me or my partner and we talk about it, you know, or just like, oh, she hit me up yesterday or he hit me up yesterday. And we talk about it and have a conversation about it. And it's open and honest. And so nobody feels deceived or nobody feels lied to. And I think that's the problem. Social media causes a lot of secrets, but you have to make sure that you are in enough of an honest relationship to have those conversations.
Tweet my man who is in an honest relationship based on marriage and commitment and vows to God and all of your family. You cool if wifey decides to click in with an old flame on the Facebook, Instagram?
I trust my wife. I'm not worried about nothing, man. I'm putting it down. Like my wife will tell you, solid. Like, I'm not pressed off, none of that. But because I don't leave space for it, you know what I mean? I'm 100% commitment every day, all day. My wife know. I mean, I've been on tour for 26 years now. So I've seen it all, done it all. I'm done with all that. My wife is my only one. So she can be like, anybody can reach out to her and say whatever. I know it ain't gonna be nothing like what I'm saying and doing. But I do realize that there are situations that people know what to say and what to do to get to a person's person. And I'm not speaking for myself, but I have seen it done, and people have used social media to get under the skin of the person, the new person that their old person is with. And it has taken those relationships down because the person is like, hold on, what is she doing in your DM, or what is he doing in your social media? And why didn't you just shut it down? Why were you all cordial? You said you hated her. Like, it's little, it could be the littlest thing.
It could be that good morning love, that whole good morning love DM.
Oh, she still call you love, like anything, just any little thing. Because if you look for it, you're gonna find it.
Yeah, I love that. I know that's right. That's a confident man. See, that's an example of a confident man who is not even tripping over his wife even having an account. So I think what we're missing a part of the conversation here is talking about people or someone who is insecure with themselves, and then someone who is confident and secure in their relationship who's probably not even tripping. Like, I think that's really the true key factor. And especially when it comes to women, I think a lot of women, you know, may look at people or men who are looking on IG, looking at all these different options. You know, but if you're confident and you're secure about who you are, you're not tripping over what they're doing because you can't control what they're doing anyway. So why even think about it?
Dr. Ish, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the comparing. You know, I follow an Instagram page called, I think it's Millennial Married or Millennium Married. It is just the best example of Black love to me. I love this Instagram page. And what I noticed, though, is I'm looking at these married couples do these certain things and these special things for their loved ones. And I'm going, my husband ain't never done that for me. How come my husband don't do that? Well, how come? So I think that becomes a part of who we are. We start doing this comparisons. We look at Cardi B and we look at Offset, right? Or we look at these relationships and we think the grass is greener on the other side, Dr. Ish.
Yeah, Tammy. So comparison is the enemy of joy, right? You will have no joy in your life if you show up every day comparing your life to what everybody else's highlight reels looks like. And make no mistake, that's what you're seeing on IG. It's on my IG, it's on most of ours. It's a highlight reel of the things we want you to think our life is like. And so you're 100% right, because it's only natural that we're constantly trying to show up and see if we're doing life right. Is this all there is? Is this the best it gets, right? Well, Tammi was in Hawaii. And even though it was only from the shoulder up, it looked like she was having a good time. I'm not in Hawaii. Why are we not on that trip, right? And so it's only natural. And once you start that comparison shopping, it's only a matter of time before you look at your partner and start to think, I wonder if we're doing it the best way possible.
Well,
right?
what if a wife or a girlfriend is DMing a specific thing that she sees that she likes on Instagram that a husband is doing for someone, or vice versa, or that a wife is doing for a husband? What if you DM that to your significant other as a little nudge? Is that a good thing or bad thing?
I love that idea because it goes back to what Mackenzie was saying. That's about communication, right? Most relationships fail because we don't communicate well face to face. We don't know how to show up and ask for what we need and want. So if that's the way to do it, then I absolutely love that, right? Because now I'm cluing you in. Hey, I thought this was cool. You know, that thing we did is great, but I wonder if we could try this. It can make it even better. It's non-threatening. I'm just giving you more information, letting you know how to help me be happy, right? Because as a guy, as a man, what I need to stay in that relationship is two things. I need to know why you need me and how I can make you happy. Sending me suggestions helps me understand those things. So that I love.
Dr. Ish, it sounds more and more like you are a proponent of this social media thing.
Tammi, I'm all about balance. There's good and there's evil, right? If you're going to use it to show up, to support the evidence of your own insecurity and constantly be on the lookout for who's double tapping your partner's pictures and why, right? That's a problem. And that's why a lot of us use it. We just got to tell ourselves the truth about this, right? And that's the truth, because you protect your relationship from the inside out, not the outside in. You're never going to be able to protect it against all those threats out there. But if you're using it for these reasons, communication, right? Which is understanding. But when we're not using it for that reason, it's only a cause for more misinformation, more confusion, more misunderstanding, to do a thing that's already hard, right?
Chelsea, is flirting, is that against relationship code on social media?
On social media, flirting.
I mean, Dr. Ish talked about double tapping pictures. Is that good, bad?
For me personally, I don't feed too much into that. I don't think that's a bad thing. And even with flirting, I wouldn't think that has anything to do with me and my relationship. So for me, that's a no. But I also need to just share that I am a non-monogamous person. So what I value or view in relationships, as far as certain codes, it may not apply to everybody else. So, but for me, no, I'm always double tapping.
That's a very different code of conduct.
Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mackenzie, how do you feel about flirting on social media, the double taps?
I don't take into consideration who's liking what photos and who's doing that. Because if I'm being all honest, like if I'm supporting somebody, whether they're a man that I'm like, whether it's a man or a woman, if I'm supporting them, I'll like their pictures, I'll, interact with their content. But I don't think it's respectful, just like you wouldn't go out and flirt with somebody on the street or at a restaurant or anywhere. You don't do that on social media. You can like a picture, you can comment on a picture, but it can't be like heart eyes and all that kind of suggestive stuff.
Oh, come on, it's just heart eyes. It doesn't mean anything.
It's suggestive. So you can't do all that.
Well, Tweet, I'm sure you get plenty of heart eyes.
I'm thankful. Yes, I do get hard eyes. But at the end of the day, only hard eyes that move me are my wife's hard eyes. And
I can't with you. I cannot with you on this day.
I'm keeping it 100. Listen, the way I said I'm putting it down, she putting it down too. It's a balance. We're equally yoked. She's my energy partner. So she doesn't mind if I double tap a picture. I don't mind if she double taps a picture. I don't mind if we're out in public and she notices someone that she thinks is handsome. She notices women that she thinks is attractive. But
hold that thought. A commercial break is not attractive right now, but we got to take one. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I am Tammi Mack. Score Master, the new science in accelerating credit scores, puts you in control of your money, not the bank. And in these days, when eggs are more than a family-sized chicken meal, you've got to get a little help with the credit, right? Say your credit score is 650 and you're borrowing $500,000 to refinance your home. Starting at ScoreMaster could save you over 75 grand in interest over the life of your loan or more. Yeah, that 75 grand is your money, not the bank's. That's the genius behind the ScoreMaster's 3-week rule, especially now with soaring interest rates. Oh my goodness. It only takes a minute to get started, and you can add 30 to 100 points in about 3 weeks, depending on your credit file. So before you apply for any loan, auto lease, or credit, start at ScoreMaster. Visit scoremaster.com/BOBB for your special 7-day trial. Again, your special 7-day trial is waiting at scoremaster.com/BOBB. And now back to more Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack on Fox Soul. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I am Tammi Mack, and the business of being black today are relationships being ruined by social media. We've got Dr. Ish, Tweet, Mackenzie, and Chelsea here to talk about it with us. What are the positive and negative effects that social media has on relationships? We've kind of touched on them a little bit. Do dating sites, let's move to the dating sites, because that's something different altogether, right? Do they deserve some of the blame that social media gets for ruining relationships? Mackenzie?
Again, like, I think it is, like Chelsea said, a bit lazy to say that these websites are the cause of ruining relationships. I think if you're on a dating site and you're going to meet people that you otherwise wouldn't have met, I think they're great. I think it's a pro for people who are maybe a little bit more introverted, who get to go out and meet people, from the comfort of their own home. They don't have to do too much. I think it's great that we get to incorporate all those personalities into the dating pool. And so it's not just people who are very outgoing who get to go out and meet people anymore.
Yeah. Chelsea?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree. What we haven't mentioned here, honestly, is it's accountability. So it's all about people holding themselves accountable and actually using social media to get in touch with people, to look for more options. But honestly, dating apps for me are really fun. Sites, apps. I mean, it's just more access to people and different types of people, especially if you're traveling. I think that can be a positive. I don't know too many people that are actually using dating apps to step outside of their so-called happy relationships.
I hear that it happens all the time, Chelsea. I hear that people are, on these dating sites, and then they find out that the man has a wife, and then
But see, is that the dating app, or is that the unfaithful person?
Exactly.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about this. Does social media create an atmosphere where the unfaithful has easier access to be unfaithful?
I think it's easier access to get caught. I don't think it's necessarily easier access. I just think it's like before, somebody could go out and have a night with somebody and come home and never hear about it. There's no paper trail. Now there's a huge paper trail. She has your number. She has messages. She's got you guys followed each other last night. All those things. It's just a paper trail now. So you just got to be more careful if you are an unfaithful person.
People are a little dumb about that. Now, for some reason, people don't understand that there is literally a trail that follows you, whatever you do, technology-wise, whether it's email, internet, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, it does not matter. You will be found if being found is what's going to happen.
Electronic receipts. And I think the true answer is, Tammi, it's both, right? At no point in history has it ever been easier to cheat, and at no point in history has it ever been easier to get caught. Right? That's just the truth of it, right?
Yeah.
But back to the initial question, my dad was a carpenter, so a hammer was his main tool, right? And you can use that hammer to build a house just as very easily as you can use it to tear it down, right? It depends on what you want to use it for. So I'm a fan of the dating app because it gives us options. It lets us know what else is out there. It lets us know who's available. And if you're using it the right way, then I think it's a cool thing. But if you're going to use the app to go back into the dating jungle, you got to have a plan, or you're not going to make it out that jungle, right? Because people lie. Those pictures aren't real. Those pictures aren't current. Who they say they are may or may not be true. And you've got to have a system in your mind for figuring out what's real and, again, what is not.
Yeah. Speaking of pictures, though, it could be a lie, right? the way that technology has just progressed, I could actually be in Hawaii with Tom, and you can, frame Tom out and put John in and have the whole world thinking I'm in Hawaii with John.
Right. Exactly.
It's not cool.
It's an altered reality, right? It's an altered reality, and we have to use our imagination to figure it out, right? And so that's part of the problem. Again, relationships are hard. It's hard just doing it, the me and you thing. Anything that causes added confusion, added misinformation, added misunderstanding, you're just complicating something that's supposed to be super simple.
Yeah. And I feel like too many people in your relationship, you run the risk of losing that relationship. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna
ask Tweet, because Tweet got it going strong over there. But I feel like all of these people who have reality shows have lost their relationships, and it seems to me because it's so public. And relationships, to me, I always describe them as fingerprints. No two relationships are the same. So once you make your relationship public, you then open it up to being criticized by people who handle their relationships differently. Much like Chelsea, you said, look, my relationship is not your traditional relationship, so I can't relate to what you all are saying in terms of how I move. And if you put that on a public platform, you lend yourself to being criticized. And I don't just mean you, I mean anyone who has a relationship that they're dealing with.
Right.
Tweet, I want you to talk about that.
So yeah, I agree 100% that once you make it public, or you have too many people in the situation, it could definitely make it a lot more challenging than it already is to just, coexist with another person. And a lot of times, people are only sharing their energy from their experiences. So it's a prejudiced, one-sided energy that you're receiving anyway. So it's best to keep it between you and your partner. Even our kids, we don't put them in the middle of our relationship. My wife and I communicate with each other. We don't go to people about anything in our relationships. And I mean, like I said, we just celebrated 9 years, January 3rd. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And it took time to get there, but we had some separations getting to this point because what you just stated, like we had other people in our business, we had our kids, and we were trying to make sure that they were straight. And then we had to realize that, man, when our kids age out of this situation and they have their own lives, will we be together or won't we be together because we're trying to please everybody right now? We had to focus in on us, the two most important people in our lives, because we wake up and go to sleep next to each other every day. And in the future, when everybody clears out, it's just going to be us. So we got to treat it like that right now. And you got to guard your relationship like you guard your heart and your mind. And that's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah.
And you think social media is a place where you can guard your relationship, your heart and your mind, Tweet?
I do. I think you can, but I still think that it's dangerous and it could be under attack. I don't exploit my wife on social media because my wife is very private and she's not into that type of life. And I feel like social media is a place where people who really don't like themselves a lot go to hang out and see who else they could poke and get to join their team.
Oh my God.
But then it's also a place where people go and share good energy and there's happy people. So there's a balance. But what you see the most is people sharing their anger and sharing their insecurities and sharing, trying to tear someone else down, because that's how they feel on the inside. Sometimes.
Yeah, I remember this specific viral moment when Tabitha Brown, it was Tabitha Brown, the chef, right, the vegan chef, and a friend of mine, said on her Instagram post that she was allowing her husband to retire. Do you all remember that? And then
yes,
Wendy Williams came out and said, "You're making the worst mistake you've ever made. You should never do it." And then Tabitha Brown had to come back and say, "Look, I'm sorry you don't know love the way I know love. and I pray one day you will receive the love that I received. And so I think that's a classic example of social media where you put out something that you're doing that's positive, that's loving, that you want to share with the world because you feel good about it. And then here comes somebody with, much like Tweet said, with their own personal experiences, putting that very thing down. And that kind of, you know, that seesaw kind of thing hurts relationships. But if you're strong, you can be like Tabitha and be like, hey, babe, I'm not you, you not me. I'll pray for you so you can have what I have. How do you feel about that, Chelsea?
I mean, look, Wendy Williams does not have a husband anymore. So sis should have been quiet the entire time. And plus, again, that's another example of someone who is not secure with themselves and not secure in their own relationship. And they're just peeking out, judging someone else. And I think even with Miss Tabitha Brown, I do remember that. I think that was so beautiful. It caused a lot of conversation with the culture. And I thought that was a really just a positive example of someone who uses their platform for good, and they're actually letting us in their relationship. So, you know, in her marriage, essentially letting us in to get an idea of what it's like or what's happening. So for her to say she is, you know, retiring her husband, I thought that the outcome of that was still really beautiful. You know what I mean? So who cares what someone else has to say? Even
I care about this commercial break. Let's go to it. We'll be back. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammi Mack. I am Tammi Mack, and the business of being Black today is, are relationships ruined by social media? Do you believe that people project their best selves online, making it harder to accept someone's flaws when you actually get to know them? I think I read a tweet the other day. I read a post the other day that said, I'm reading it how I saw it. It was a guy who posted, and he said, girls be having you think you're out of their league, and then you see him working in Kroger. So do you put your best foot forward, or do you put your false foot forward? What are we doing here? Dr. Ish, go for it.
Tammi, I think it's a little bit of both, right? As Black folks in particular, as a culture, there's a lot of reasons for us to show up and feel shame. That's what they've told us, right? As a lot of reasons as to why who we are isn't enough. To get the job we want, to live in the house we want, to drive the car we want, to get the love we want. And so, of course, we want to put our best foot forward. And sometimes, Tammi, you got to fake it till you make it, right? That works as well. But again, at some point where the rubber meets the road, I'm from the country, we keep things simple. At some point, we're going to have to show up and figure out who each other are, right? And at that point, whatever you put out there is going to come to the surface. It really is, you know? And I want to circle back to what we were talking about, you know, how other people went on in relationships affects it. From a psychology standpoint, 90% of decisions we make as humans is based on what other people think. Friends, family, your work family. Think about it, 90%. Where you live, what you drive, what you wear, and yes, who you love, whether you realize it or not, 90% of the time, you're weighing in on what other folks are thinking before you make that decision.
I'm sitting here trying to think, have I done that?
We all do it subconsciously because it's humans. It's how we're wired. We want to show up and we want to be accepted. We want our friends to like us. We want folks to agree with us. We want to be liked. But you got to think, why am I in this room? Am I in this room to be accepted? Am I in this room just to be seen? Because those are two very different reasons why you show up in a day. If I want to be accepted, there's some things I'm not going to wear. I may not wear this sweater. I don't want folks to think I'm a nerd, right? I'm not going to talk about certain things. I'm not going to tell you certain things about me on that first date because I don't want to scare you away, because I want you to accept me. But if I'm in the room that I just want you to see it, this is this. I'm going to do a twirl. I'm going to do another twirl. Okay. Did you get it? Now you can make a decision about me, and your decision ain't none of my business. Just let me know when you do, and we can move forward.
Mackenzie?
I think, and I think Dr. Ish said it, social media is a highlight reel. It really is. Nobody's coming on social media posting their cheating experiences, posting the fact that they just got into a huge fight with their partner the other day. It's just not something that they want to post. Nobody wants to post, I am flawed. Nobody wants to post, I have things that aren't perfect. People are always trying to achieve a level of perfection, and social media is a false way to kind of portray that image. So at the end of the day, people are posting their relationships and they're posting the best parts. They're posting the great things. They're posting themselves in great ways. And I think, it shows, then the comparisons come in and all that stuff comes in, and we're really comparing the best parts. You're not seeing the low points of anything. So,
right.
I think
right. So Mackenzie, what you're talking about is being vulnerable, right?
Exactly.
It's what Tweet says that him and his wife have, right? It's good because they're able to be vulnerable with each other. It's hard to show up and be vulnerable, no matter how pretty we think we are, how talented, how gifted, how whatever. Yeah. It's hard for me to show up and tell you those things and show you those things that I think aren't perfect about me, because I don't want to feel shame about it. I don't want to feel the hurt about it. It's hard to do it one-on-one, impossible to do it one on 200,000 on social media, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Chelsea, go ahead.
It's interesting because I actually use my social media for business and work first. So when you find me on Instagram, for example, you're going to see all my achievements and accolades, which I think is totally fine. I am also kind of like an old school social media user. So other platforms like Tumblr and Twitter and YouTube, I'm also kind of sharing more of a vulnerable side. And I've also been on those platforms a little bit longer than Instagram. So I think it's a bit of a balance. If you do follow me, you will have an understanding that, I'm non-monogamous, or just more so my style of dating, which has kind of helped me out in a positive way. So when someone sees me, in person, they know that they can actually come up and approach me, because, there's some people who don't want to be approached by their followers, which is totally fine, but I'm kind of different in that way. So I think it's a really healthy balance that Dr. Ish was talking about that I would say definitely works for me, for sure.
Right. I don't know if this is a personal question. You could tell me none of your damn business, Tammi, if you want. Are you also pansexual?
Oh, that's a really great question. No, I am not pansexual. I am actually demisexual, though. Do you know what that is?
No. School me today.
Yes, ma'am. Demisexual, I am attracted to masculinity. So it's the masculine energy that I'm mostly attracted to. So if that's from a female body, if that's from a male body, it's totally fine. Doesn't matter to me, but it's the masculine energy that I'm mainly sexually attracted to. But pansexual, for me, that's
if there is a woman that has a certain amount of masculinity, then you are attracted to that masculine.
There's a possibility that I will be attracted to her, them, or they.
Okay, we all learned something. Y'all in the tweet, you ain't know that because you in your own little world over there. I know you ain't know.
Chelsea, you know what?
I got grown kids.
You said what, Tweet?
Chelsea, for knowing that.
I got grown children.
Oh. So,
I know a lot about what's happening today. I got grown children.
He's like, I'm hip. I understand.
Right. I got it.
That's it.
Go ahead, Dr. Ish. You were saying something to Chelsea.
Yeah, I was just going to say I wanted to applaud Chelsea for the fact that she actually knows exactly what it is that turns her on, because a lot of us don't. The reason most of us don't have the person we really want in life is because we don't really know what we really want. Or, Tammi, we do know, but we're just too ashamed to admit it.
Ooh.
I've definitely seen that in relationships with people talking about, there's a lot of men or women who are actually not monogamous, and they just they're too ashamed to tell their partner, like, I really would like to experience something else, or I would really like to experience somebody else. And I think that causes so much dissonance within yourself and then within the relationship if you're not open and honest about that. It's creating an open environment to be that vulnerable with your partner and say, look, I love you so much that whatever would make you happy is what we need to do. We need to figure that out.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of relationships on social media. Some of them that I actually admired go kaputs. And what happens is, they live this beautiful life on Instagram. And one of the relationships that I saw, the young woman and her boyfriend, they had this fly, just dope relationship, right? You're liking posts, your hashtag relationship golden in the comments, everything. And then one day out of the blue, she admits, hey, we broke up. I was paying for everything. He wrecked my car. I had to pay for it. Everything was me doing it. And then you're like, huh? What? So does the simple fact of being on social media in public make it difficult to leave relationships and stay in toxic relationships? Tweet, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is that way because sometimes when the relationship is the thing that's bringing in the money or bringing in the popularity or the likes, sometimes people will stay in a dangerous, unhealthy relationship much longer than they should. And some people don't want to express that they are having trouble in their relationship or they've broken up because they're getting so much attention from the relationship being quote unquote good. They don't want to tell the truth about it. But I think that what happens is in relationships is people don't take time to learn each other's love language. Some people's love language is public attention and gifts and all these different things. And some people's love language is privacy and spending time, quality time and sex, or there's different things that create a relationship, but you have to learn your partner's love language. And social media has to be an additive, just like anything else. Just like in the room, if you're being intimate and you want to add some things to have fun with your partner, that's your business, but you shouldn't be putting that on social media. And a lot of times people get caught up with trying to service their audience and they start running out of things to do. So they start putting things there that is, not should be made public. And then it causes an issue. And then behind the scenes, they're trying to hold it together because they know that this is how they get, their attention from the world. And that's their love language.
Yeah, Dr. Ish, you may not be familiar with this couple, but some of you may be. I follow Krishan and Blueface. I love the...
Tammi, I just got back from LA doing a couple of sessions with Krishan and Blueface, so I know all about it.
Okay. So is this whole relationship a reality show for social media, or is it in fact a toxic relationship? Because we are all invested. We are highly invested in this couple.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You're not.
Stay away.
And let me,
I want to stay away.
let me just say this. I think Blue is cool. I think he's a really good dude deep down, and I think Krishan is a good person also. So let me put that out there. But I think Krishan has a ton of unhealed trauma she's trying to work through, which it makes it impossible for her to show up and be in a healthy relationship. It is toxic. It is truly toxic. And my fear is it's only a matter of time before something really horrible happens there that they're not going to be able to control, because both of them aren't able to get to a place where they can be honest about who they should be and why. Blue is trying to get there, but Krishan is not there yet. So it's a bad situation.
So Dr. Ish, tell us about your upcoming projects.
Oh my goodness. So we got a few things coming out. I got a couple things coming out with Nick Cannon. We got a new show coming out for Amazon, which is great. Joining Judge Chola on Commit or Quit. Boot camp is always rolling. So that's great over on We TV. So I got a ton of stuff happening. Really excited about it. And 2023 is off to a great start. And I'm looking forward to helping a lot of couples do their thing just a little bit better. And a lot of couples stop doing their thing at all. Because
Chelsea, what is the mission behind Happy Period Charity?
Yeah, so Happy Period is a charity that I actually founded with my mother, and we teach kids, preteens, and some young adults about menstruation. Like, we want to make sure that people are comfortable talking about periods, that they're prepared for their first period. We also help out folks who are houseless that may not have access to certain period products. We're actually celebrating our 8th year anniversary next month. So we have some really cool things coming up working with the city and government. So
thank you for that. Thank you for that for this generation, because I have to say, just hearing you say the word makes me uncomfortable, and I hate that. So I'm glad that you have taken this on so that you can make women and men alike be okay with what happens to a woman and her body. So thank you for that so much. Mackenzie,
thank you.
Mackenzie, come on, talk about it. What you got? Where can we check out your single, Only You?
Yes, my single is out all on Spotify, Tidal, wherever you stream music. But I'm also coming out with a project in April that'll be out called Onyx. So I'm very excited for that, and just keep a lookout for that.
Will do. And Tweet, we know you got some stuff coming up, huh?
Well, yeah. You know it. It's because of y'all. I'm here 26 years with my group Next. We have shows coming at a stage near you, wherever you are. And I have new music also coming out myself. I perform as Tweeters PRS for my solo stuff. I also have my first book being published. It's called Healing Myself, My Best Life Ever Journey. And I'm also doing life coaching and motivational speaking. So I'll be on the stage speaking and sharing this good energy with you all over the world.
I mean, I love all that you're doing, but it sounds like really after listening to you talk for 45 minutes about your relationship, it really sounds like you need to be doing some relationship seminars.
Okay.
I mean, I am. I actually am. I am. It's a part of what I teach my clients. And my wife and I both share our stories with my clients. And we do everything we can to help people realize that the most important relationship that you have is the relationship with yourself. And so you have to come to your relationship whole. That's why my wife's not my better half. She's whole and I'm whole. We come together and make one big whole. But we had to learn that, and we have to stop looking at each other to make us happy, because no one can make you happy and no one can make you sad. So you got to take care of your energy. She takes care of her energy. Then we bring it together.
Thanks a lot, Tweet. Tell Doc I said hi. That's my boy.
For sure.
That's my boy. Okay, that is the business of being Black with Tammi Mack on Fox Soul. Thank you, Dr. Ish, Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Tweet. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.